Good morning. I feel like saying salutations, everyone. We are live once again. Welcome to another exciting installment of In Your Element with Artis and Eric. I can't believe it. This is already our fourth episode. It feels like we're literally flying along. Hopefully, everyone can hear me okay, see us okay. Obviously, we're going to be talking about higher education's most advanced student engagement CRM. That's Element 451. But joining me today, as always, my co-host is Artis Cadu. How you doing, Artis?
Hey, Eric, I'm doing great.
Awesome. And by the way, I should always do titles. I'm terrible with titles. I've always been like that since like beginning of my speaking career. But I'm VP of Product Strategy for Element 451, and of course, Artis Cadu, our CEO and founder, and really the knowledge base behind everything within Element 451. I wish I could like plug in, I guess like Ethernet or Cat5 or fiber optic and get everything that you've got in your brain, sir. So as always, we're live on, I think, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and of course, my dad's fax machine. So if you need to it's going to cost him a lot of paper. But if you need to tune in wherever you want, we're live on those platforms. Today's show, bit of an edgy topic, if you will. We're really kind of pushing the boundaries here, and I really want to show kind of like the best of Element 451, kind of like what we do better than other higher ed CRMs. And so, the title of today's show is 3 things that we do better than other higher ed CRMs. And of course, those 3 things were our email building, landing pages, and microsites, followed by an asterisk, of course, because there's more than 3 things. But in a 20 or so minute show here, I'm just making sure I know exactly what time to say goodbye to everybody. But Artis is coming to us live today from an undisclosed location. We're not gonna share where he's at. He's not even using a green screen today. He's doing it raw, no editing. So Artis, like, what is it that makes us better? Like, what are these 3 things? Like, why are we even having this show today?
Look, there's a number of different things that we can say we can do better than any of our competitors, or perhaps better than the industry, or even better in terms of CRMs or software overall. However, when we talk about higher education, we talk about the schools that we're serving, there's 3 things that are top of mind for a lot of them. One of them is, and we talk about the funnel as well, right? So we talk about the top of the funnel, and we talk about, how do we deploy marketing initiatives? And a lot of those rely on the website, it being the main channel for those schools. So the website, that's where students go to. And if you're going to drive marketing or digital marketing inbound, you need to be able to have a connection between that digital marketing to a landing page. So landing pages are the bread and butter of the publishing world for marketing. And being able to publish landing pages becomes super important because you need to be able to publish them really quickly. They need to be able to look great, and they also need to be able to, capture all of the information that's needed. Need to be, put your brand out there. So landing pages are one of the things that there's been lots of products in the marketing industry. So if you're familiar with, for example, something very similar to a Instapage, for example, or some of the other products like Optimizely, that's a little bit different, but Instapage, it's one that really stands out for us. But there's all this landing page builders and landing page companies that have come out that all they do is produce landing pages for
one thing, right? That's
one thing.
all it is. Yeah.
That's it. So the beautiful thing about those is that they have focused a lot on the pain point, which is how fast can we get these landing pages up and running? And at Element, we've kind of taken that and said, okay, we need to provide the same type of experience. However, we need to integrate it with everything else that we do as part of our product and CRM. So you can publish the landing page, but now the data that you're capturing from the forms are all integrated. The data is going directly into your CRM. It's going directly, and it's triggering communication applications. So it's all connected. So what we've done here, and I'm going to show you really quickly, and I'm going to show you a few different examples. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to see, let's see over here, as I do this, because I have the same window here. So we're going to take a look at these landing pages. So here's a landing page that's built with Element 451, and this is Southeast Missouri State, right? They're using Element extensively throughout their campus, but here is a landing page that they have built here with Element 451. And what you're seeing here is a very modern landing page. Obviously, it's mobile and responsive, right? So we can kind of go in and out and kind of take a look at that as well. So you can do a lot of the it's a modern landing page publishing platform. So you can take a look at this page here, and this is all about their view book. So when we go down and take a look at it, it's kind of their view book, and they are treating it as a view book page, and this is what they sent over to their students. And of course, when they say be a Red Hawk, it takes them to our Element application, which is again a landing page builder in itself. So rather than the application being something completely different, this is just the same engine, the same landing page builder, but now it's part of their application, and all it is, it's an embedded application in here as part of that, which kind of, you can see the continuity. But
yeah, it's a unified experience, right?
Exactly.
You go from page to page to page, but all the data is connected throughout.
Exactly. And the beautiful thing about this is if I go and edit this page over here, one thing that you're going to see is that you're getting a WYSIWYG. So you're getting a what you see is what you get editor, really kind of bringing the brand of the school forward. Anything from the typography, that you can choose any of the typography, all from the Google Fonts, different typography, colors, imagery in here. So this, for example, this component, it has everything that you need, the customization. So you can make this look very, very different from school to school, and kind of bring your brand forward.
And do you need to know code? Like, I mean, you and I both know some coding stuff,
Nope.
right? I've done some old HTML and but it's like most people at institutions, maybe they weren't hired to be sort of like making pages, but they need them.
Yeah, no code whatsoever. And what makes this even nicer is that, look at this, we have a library of pre-built components. So you can start with these. You can just keep adding any of the components, from teasers to call to actions to pre-populated data components. A lot of our schools, what they're doing is that we have use cases, Eric, and kind of we're translating those use cases into this landing pages. So think about graduate admissions. You're doing a lot of digital first, and you're driving for each program. You're driving them to a landing page. So you need to build a landing page for each program. And then on top of that, what you're also doing is, let's say for sophomore junior search, right? You're driving students to a landing page where you need pre-populated data. Well, we have created all of those components, so you can drive somebody there with a pre-populated data component, and then you'll kind of request them, say, hey, is this correct? And then fill that in. So we've done a lot of that. So you can have video, you have quotes, social feeds, maps, and so a lot of.
And do you have to pay for this stuff? Like, I mean, it seems like this is a lot of extra stuff. Do I have to pay more for this?
No, this is all included as part of Element. And look, I mean, Southeast Missouri has dozens and dozens of pages, and when you publish them, also, what happens here? If I go back, you can publish them, and you get you can publish them to your own domain. In this case, they're using a .org, but you can have .edu. Publishing landing pages, so it's all available as part of that. One thing I was going to show you here is, let me go to Erskine, actually, really quickly here. I want to go to Erskine College. They're using their landing pages for quite a lot, and it's been really, really interesting. So they have a visit landing page, which is kind of this when the pandemic started, they need to get a lot of information out there. So they drove people to the visit landing page, and then they schedule a visit. And this takes you then to our event manager, to our event portal, where we can schedule visits. However, they're using an opportunity here to give them a little bit more than just the visit, right? They're giving them, the video components in here from YouTube. They're also giving them an ability to fill out to learn a little bit more. So, obviously giving them a map in here and a lot of digital view book. So they're treating these pages more as an entry point, right? Of course, we have other schools like so LSUS Shreveport that's using our landing pages as their information info request, right? So this is a destination in itself. And this is becoming more and more of a trend of using our landing pages as that.
Right,
Of
because
course,
it collects all the data in one place, right? The landing page
exactly,
goes into
exactly.
that tool, and you get the student
Hmm.
record. It starts to build out sort of what can happen, and then depending on what they share as an interest, it can trigger workflows and get them into different campaigns. So you start to
Exactly.
sort of see this entire connectedness of it all. I'm just waiting for your Wi-Fi to load up a little bit as you continue to scroll.
Yeah.
And really, what I'm doing is allowing the rest of the humans who are watching this show to catch up with Artist, because Artist is the fastest demoer on the planet. But honestly, it seems like you can build these things out that look amazing on desktop. They also
Yeah.
look amazing on small screen, and all the data that can be collected, and you don't have to know any code. And there's all those predefined templates from a design perspective. It just seems to
Correct.
me like that to me, that's an easy win when you say these are some of the things that we do best.
Exactly. And of course, like I said, you don't have to. You're not limited to our components that we have in there. You have an opportunity to even go even further in here. So there's just a lot of flexibility that you can get out of it.
They're gorgeous. And I find myself sort of diving into different clients' instances of Element just to sort of see what landing pages they've got.
Hmm.
I know, for example, Howard University, and we've gone completely inception here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but yeah, in terms of some of these landing pages and microsites, I mean, that was a bit landing pagey, I think, in a sense. But I think the microsites from Howard University are just some of the prettiest things I've seen on the internet. And they've just been deployed using our platform, using our technology. And I'm being asked to show Howard, which is sort of like saying, fly the plane, but also deliver the drinks in the back. So let's see
Mm.
if I can, you know.
Well, so Eric, there's an interesting video that's going around that we show quite a bit, and you as a first-time student, you got an account in there, and you're kind of browsing around. So the reason why I'm asking you to show that is not just from the administrative side, but also take a look at it from the student experience, right? Because that's super important for us as well. Now, one thing that we did was we used the microsites. Sometimes microsites can be used for a number of different things. We call them admitted student microsites for admitted students. However, we dog-fooded our own microsites for our AI Academy, for our user conference, which we threw, which was last month. And we use our own microsites to actually drive people there as well, which was really, really cool. As you're showing Howard,
As I get my computer to run here, if it would actually load something. Yeah, it's not actually working. But
so let's
that's my
move.
fault, not our
No,
technology.
let's move on to. So I'll be able to show our micros. Give me 1 second here. I'll be able to show our
It's literally a race right now to see who can get there.
demo microsite. Yep. But let's move on to, so we showed landing pages, right? And then we showed kind of the ability for us to the publishing with the application as well, landing page. Now we'll jump into the microsite in a little bit, but the next thing I wanted to show was more around the email building, right? So if we let me open this up. So as we look at email and email communications, I'm sharing my screen right now, so I'm not sure if it's if it's available.
It looks good. Yours looks good. Don't worry. I'm just opening up a bunch of stuff to get ready.
So the one thing that you kind of suffer from when you do these shows and you're showing your screen as well is
Can't see anything.
When you don't have two monitors, it becomes a little bit of a juggling act. So I don't know how we lived without two monitors before. So this is so what you're seeing here. This is a communication Cornell Tech, and one thing that we hear a lot of schools, they're moving towards, not just for graduate admissions, but also undergraduate, is this idea of personas, right? So every school and every marketing team is somehow, it's moving towards what they're calling persona building or persona modeling. So they're thinking about the different attributes that their students have, and how do they deliver messages that are personalized to those students and to those attributes. So you might have an engineering focused one, you might have a female, male, focused in-state, out-of-state. So different personas or whatever. Like you might want to think about, people or students who like biology who also play soccer, right? That's a persona. So you can think about all these different attributes, and marketing teams are building them with external vendors, internal teams. However, what becomes really difficult when you have these personas is how do you deliver messages to them? Let's say you build the content, but then how do you build it into your CRM that is not hours and hours and hours and hundreds of different variations of emails? How do you do that? Well, what we've done with our email builder is actually taken that approach and kind of thinking about it as the component level, right? So we've taken email building and we've kind of built it as a website. So think about like our landing pages now, but each one of our emails is more like component based, and then now you can have different variations of those components. Here's one, here's a Cornell Tech one, and of course it looks great on mobile and they're all responsive. And but the way that this is built, it's actually very, very simple, right? So we can take a look at the email building component here, or email building experience. And then what you're seeing is that, of course, you're seeing the email builder. So I can open this up and you can see everything is WYSIWYG. I have all my fonts in here, my editing, and of course I have my images. And what's really interesting here as well is that when I can add, you can see like all of those components that you saw before on those landing pages. Now I have the ability to add even more components in here, like from call to actions to columns to signature for footers. So you can build these emails again in a matter of minutes also. So you don't have to know coding or anything like that. But what's
and they just work on platforms too, Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo,
exactly,
you name it.
Exactly. We do all of the hard work. So no coding. We translate everything that you do on the UI to perfect, clean code that works beautifully on all those different platforms. So as a matter of fact, depending on what the platform is, we output different things in there. What becomes interesting here is that you see that there is a different variation of this header. So what we've done is they have created different variations and based on personas. So you have a persona that is connected media or health tech, or this is based on their program. So the health tech program has a different image in here, and connected media has a different image. So it becomes really interesting. And of course, the call to action is also different depending on their funnel stage. So I can make attend an admission event if it's the default one. If they've started an application, again, admissions one, or if they've already applied, I'm driving them to learn more. And of course, this is all connected with our website and landing pages. So it kind of goes in and kind of connects through that. But here is where it becomes really interesting, because I can do this personalization and this persona delivering not just on the content itself, but everywhere else. So you're able to build those personas in here. So you can see these are just our segments in here. So you can see how they have a current college student or a domestic student or a female student. So they have all these different personas, and then they deliver those persona content based on those personas on the, so in here I can say, I can add, for example, another version in here. I can add an audience, right? So if I add an audience, I have to pick which audience do I want to create a content piece for, and then pick the content itself where I can duplicate a prior one.
Yeah. So, well, it's amazing because you can have a small team and it can make it seem as if you've got just loads of people working in-house. And so, you think about, if you're a community college and you don't have a huge budget for your marketing activities, your recruitment, and it's not just marketing for recruitment and admissions, but sort of throughout that student engagement lifecycle, this expands your ability to connect with students in a very personalized way. And if they don't respond, to know that they didn't respond, right? You have all your access to open rates and all the sort of
Exactly.
things that you would have in any other email sending technology, but it's
Yep.
all packaged into your higher ed student engagement CRM.
Exactly.
I do have a bit of breaking news. I have the Howard University microsite ready to go. So
Let's do it.
it only took me a few clicks because that's my issue. It's Monday morning. I haven't had enough coffee, so let me just load this up here. And so I just kind of want to show just really quickly like what the actual and hopefully Victoria, our ace producer, will bring that here for me. Thank you so much. But basically, this just shows what it looks like if you're kind of logging into this personalized website. You've expressed interest in Howard University, and it gives you just a few facts in terms of them being a top-ranked HBCU and being founded and begun in 1867, and it just looks really good. And so let me just transition over to the other window here. I have a multi-window setup. I brought all the toys today. Thanks again, Victoria, for doing all this amazing clicking and production for us. But I have come in. I'm a prospective student. I want to discover my potential future as a student at Howard. They've got some virtual tours, sort of intro to life at Howard. There, they've embedded some tweets, some Twitter feed activity there. I chose accounting, which is an homage to our intern Victoria, who's helping produce this show today. But you can see there in terms of sort of the academic planner, in terms of classes you need to take, sort of average starting salary range, all sorts of interesting multimedia facets around sort of Howard and just what it's like to become a student at the institution. And I love also they even let you kind of go in here and look at things like financial aid, resources for scholarships. There's the academic planner, like I mentioned earlier. There's also sort of the Howard difference, which I think is an amazing aspect to their microsite. And it really just shows you some of the fabulous people who have gone through Howard University, some of their really well-known alums. And so you can scroll through this. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Eric, can you click on that on the Bozeman profile just to take a look at it?
Yeah, sure, yeah. So this, of course, Chadwick Boseman. Sadly, he passed away not that long ago, but of course, a really well-known alumnus of Howard University. Of course, including, and I don't know if they have her up here yet, but the vice president of the United States, so Kamala Harris. So kind of a big deal there in terms of with Howard's doing, and I've shared this on social as well. Victoria, if you could put us side by side, that'd be great. But I've shared this on social, and thank you. In that it looks amazing on mobile. And students' lives are on the go. They're connecting with institutional information and resources, and these three things that we've showed today: microsites, emails, and landing pages. Tip of the iceberg. We could do a show every week on the three things that we do, and maybe that'll become sort of a theme for us. What are the three things this week that we get to do? And so, by the way, if you have any questions for us, I know we're going live on social. Feel free to share those questions in the comments or in replies or whatever platform you're at. Dad will post the fax machine number up later, so you can send me a fax. But we're just going to continue to do these shows, sharing sort of the best of Element 451, letting you know what we're all about, how our technologies are really transforming higher education from application to graduation and beyond, and everything in between. And so, again, if you have questions, please let us know. But until we'll see you. I guess we're doing a show middle of the week, right?
On Wednesday, yeah.
A little teaser for the middle of the week show. We're going to do a show on Wednesday. Our interpretation of what's going on in higher ed around sort of the ed tech space and student engagement technology in general. But until then, my name is Eric Stoller, VP of Product Strategy at Element 451. And you, sir, are?
Artis Cadu, CEO of Element 451. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, everybody.